Hi there, Steve Kaufman here. Today, I want to talk about role playing in the classroom, drills, and getting to speaking in the language. And I'm doing this because I am now at the stage where I want to speak in Arabic. I'm doing a lot of listening, a lot of reading. I've got a lot of words and phrases in my mind now. I sometimes say them to myself. I want to start using them with people. I want to stumble. I want to struggle. I want to get some feedback. I know that I need to do that now. I'm over 4,000 known words at LingQ. Granted, in Arabic, you get a lot of freebie words because of the way they attach the and, wa, to different words. But I think I'm just about there. I could wait a bit longer, but I'm close. And since we are in the process of revamping our whole tutorial system at LingQ, I want to wait until we have that actually functioning, which isn't very far away. And then I'm going to invite native speakers of Arabic to come on and teach Arabic, and I will be using their services to a great extent. But then it got me to think about my conference that I attended in Portland, where they have these stories where they engage the class, and all the different ways in which, in a classroom, teachers have to try to engage the class in some way. And there are different techniques used. One of these is role playing, where two students pretend to be, at the grocery store or something, and they pretend that they are two people acting out some scenario in the language they're learning. Drills, for example, is another way that teachers like to elicit some response from the learner. Pimsleur does this, where you are prompted to say something and to answer. I've been listening to the Defense Language Institute Arabic material, and there again, there are a bunch of drills where they give often quite complicated instructions on what you're supposed to do. Change the predicate into something, and I can never understand half it, or I shouldn't say never, but a lot of times it's quite confusing as to what they want you to do until you start to hear a few examples. But I never do it. I just listen. And in all of their drills, I just listen to the pattern. And I find that listening to the pattern is much more powerful than me interjecting my effort to remember what was in the sentence and to try to do whatever it is they ask you to do. I find that a burden and something that's unpleasant to do. In all of the language books that I use, whenever there are drills or questions, I never do them. I may read the various sentences, which very often, highlight a particular pattern, or I might go to the answers and read all of the answers, which highlight a particular pattern. So it's this exposure to a pattern that I find useful, whereas doing the drills I don't find useful. By the same token, the role playing is not something that I would willingly participate in because it's not natural. I believe that listening to interesting stories, or even listening to, a concentrated exposure to certain patterns, is gradually improving the ability of the brain to sift through and sort through and organize this language. That ultimately, just as I prefer my listening and reading to be on subjects of interest to me, I also prefer my speaking to be on subjects of interest to me. So that's why I wait until I at least have some words in the language and some comprehension, so that now I can start speaking to someone, and I would rather speak on a subject of interest rather than pretending that I am a clerk in a store or, work at the post office or whatever it might be. I will ask the person, where do you live? He lives in a Syrian refugee in Turkey. How is life in Turkey? Are there many refugees there from Syria? What's going to happen in Syria? Those are the kinds of discussions that I will have in Arabic. And those will be meaningful discussions. And so that is an opportunity for me to practice output, to find out what I'm missing, to go back to my input, to work on words and phrases for the next encounter. But the next encounter with my tutor will again be a real encounter, speaking. It won't be a drill. It won't be role playing. It won't be any of these things. It'll be something meaningful to me. So that's why personally, being prompted to say something, being prompted to perform a role, being prompted to respond to drills, all of this is something that I resist. Now, maybe that's just a personal preference. In fact, it's certainly a personal preference. Other people, have different approaches, but I just wanted to explain the approach that I take and let you know that I'm looking forward to starting to speak in Arabic. But I don't want to do it until we have our new speaking platform at LingQ, and then you'll be able to follow my progress. I'm even thinking of maybe tracking. Say if I speak every day, then over a period of a week or so, or two, just tracking my progress, at least for my own purpose. So I'll save a minute of each discussion, and I'll then have, at least for my own purposes, a record of my progress as I start to activate my Arabic learning. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye for now.